guys, I just wanted to quickly mention, I make my pozole with chicken. You can make yours with beef following the same steps. It doesn't matter. If you do make it with beef, it is gonna have, it gives it more flavor than the chicken, but I just simply like chicken more than beef. So yeah, and traditionally people make the chicken pozole green, but I like it red. I don't like the green pozole. I'm just gonna quickly mention everything that I used, and I'm gonna go ahead and insert pictures here of the items because I didn't like do a full picture of it. But you are gonna need, I used 3 garlic cloves in total. I used 1 whole onion. I used the white one. You can use the yellow one as well, it doesn't matter. You don't want to use a purple onion, but white or yellow is fine. You're gonna need the chicken bouillon. I'll put a picture here. If like you live in a Mexican household, then you have this probably already, and maybe if you don't live in a Mexican household, you have it already, but I use that. You can just use salt, but I prefer to use the chicken bouillon because I don't know if that's how you even say it, guys. Don't make fun of me. But I prefer to use that because it just adds more flavor to it, and that's just what I've grown up eating, so that's what I use. But feel free to just use salt. You're just gonna have to taste test it to see how much salt you're gonna add. And you are gonna need chicken. The chicken, you can use chicken with bones. Some people use a whole chicken, some people just use chicken breast, some people use like all different pieces of chicken, you know. It's totally up to you. And if you're using beef, the same thing. You probably do want to use a shoulder if you're using beef because it's gonna shred easier. But I just went ahead and used chicken breast because I don't like dealing with the bones. If you do use chicken with bones, it is gonna add more flavor as well again. But I just like to make my life easy. So yeah, I just use chicken breast, and I use 3. Feel free to use as much chicken as you want or as little chicken as you want. It doesn't matter. It's not going to affect it. And you're going to need water, of course, but I mean, everyone has a sink, so I don't know if I have to mention that. You need water. I do add salt to the water with chicken. And you are going to need the hominy, which I just get the regular one. I don't know, I'll put a picture of it here. Okay, that's the one I get, but you can use any. I know like Walmart sells like the Great Value brand, I think. You can use that. I use chile guajillo, and I used chile de árbol. The chile de árbol is optional. It's just gonna add a little bit of a kick to the pozole, but it's not gonna make it super spicy at all. Like, it's not spicy, it's just gonna add more flavor to it. And the chile guajillo, I ended up using 30 chile guajillo, but it is gonna depend on how much water you use, like how much pozole you're making. So you're gonna have to be tasting it, of course. Whenever you're cooking, you're gonna have to be tasting your food to see if it needs more of anything or less of anything. I started off with 20, but it needed more chile, so I added 10 more. And I used 5 chiles de árbol. Once again, if you want it spicier, you're gonna add more chile de árbol, and if you don't want it, you don't have to use it, you know. Pozole is gonna taste just fine just using chile guajillo. That's everything that I use. So now I'm just gonna get right into it. This was like a super long intro, but the recipe should be pretty short. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you guys find it helpful. Let me know if you guys want any other recipes. I'll be more than glad to do them. I'm gonna go ahead and do a video on la arroz con leche because I didn't know how to make that until like I got really older. So yeah, I think like these more difficult dishes, or dishes that we think are difficult even though they're not. Like, I always thought pozole was so hard to make, and it's not hard. It is time consuming, I will say, but you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, and it tastes good and it's tasty, and yeah, you want to learn how to make these things, you know, and anybody can make this. So yeah, okay, let's get into it. The first thing you want to do is fill your pot with water. I'm using a pretty big pot, and I filled it about halfway. Keep in mind that the water is going to rise as you add your chicken and your hominy. So yeah, just it's going to depend on how much you want to make. It's totally up to you. Okay, so at this point I've added my 3 chicken breasts, half the onion, and 1 garlic clove. And I'm gonna go ahead and add salt. I added about 1 tablespoon of salt. It's just gonna go ahead and flavor the water as the chicken boils. Okay, so next you're gonna go ahead and get a pan or a comal, either one works, and you're just going to grill your chiles. Don't add oil or anything, just put the chiles on there. I added a slice of onion and 1 garlic to flavor it. This is gonna go ahead and bring the flavors out of the chile. You don't have to do this, but I think it tastes better this way. This isn't gonna take long to cook. You just want to hear that sizzling and you're gonna smell the chile. So once that happens, about 3 minutes probably, 3 to 5 minutes, you're gonna go ahead and take your chiles off the pan. The next step is to boil our chiles. So you're gonna add water to a pot and you're gonna put your chiles in there. I went ahead and added the garlic too that I had grilled. It's just gonna add flavor to the water as well. And you don't want to add too much water, just enough that it covers your chiles. It's totally fine to boil all your chiles at once. They should all fit in your pot, that's fine. And you're just gonna cook them until they look soft. As your chicken is boiling, I choose to take off that layer that built on the top. I don't know what it is or what it's called, but I just scoop it out with a spoon. And here you can see my chiles. They're ready. You see how they look like really floppy. I'm gonna take them out soon. Okay, so now you guys can see I'm just taking out the chiles. Just scoop them out. It's fine if you get the juice in there. You're gonna need it anyway, so just go ahead, scoop them out into a separate bowl, or you can scoop them straight into your blender. That's fine because that's our next step. Here I'm just checking to see if my chicken is ready. You can just stick 2 forks in there and try and pull the chicken apart. If it pulls apart, then it is ready. Okay, so now to the blender, I'm gonna add 1 garlic clove, and I'm gonna find that garlic clove that I boiled and stick that in there as well. And I'm going to add whatever is left of the onion, so it should be like the other half of the onion basically, and put that in the blender. And I'm gonna go ahead and add my chiles. I did about 15 at a time. You can kind of see how you want to do it, but that's just what I did. This is what it should look like. You're gonna want to add the juice from the chile as you see that you need it. I'd say that in total I used about 1 cup of the juice, and your chile should end up looking like mine did. And now here all I'm gonna do is fry the chile. This is an optional step. You don't have to do this. I just think it brings out the flavor of the chile even a little bit more, but it will be healthier if you don't do this, so it's totally up to you. I'm just straining the seeds and anything that's in the chile. I use cheesecloth, but if you do have a drainer that is smaller and will filter out those seeds, then use that. A lot of people do have that. I just don't, so I use this and cheesecloth, and it works fine. And you're just gonna strain out your chile into the oil if you're choosing to do this. If not, then you're just gonna strain out the chile into your pot with the chicken. It's gonna take about maybe 3 minutes for your chile to start to bubble like this, and once it does that, it's ready. And all you're gonna do is dump this into your pot with the chicken. Once you do that, you just want to go ahead and give your pot a good stir, and you just want to let this sit for a little bit so that the chicken can get the flavor. Okay, so here I'm just adding in the Knorr chicken thingy powder, and mine was finishing, so I just dumped the rest of it in there. But you're gonna want to taste it to see if you need to add more or less or whatever. I'd start off with maybe 3 tablespoons. And next, I didn't show this, but I'm gonna strain out the hominy. So you just want to take out the juice from the jar, and then you're gonna dump that into your pot. So once your chicken is cooked, you're gonna go ahead and take it out and you're gonna shred it, which is what I'm doing. And then you're just gonna go ahead and put it back in the pot once it's shredded. And at this point, you're pretty much done. I just let it sit for another 10 minutes so it could get all the flavor. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want more recipes, let me know. I am glad to make them. I am more than happy to film them. I don't know, whatever. Okay, I appreciate every single one of you, and make sure to subscribe if you like all my weirdness. Make sure to give this video a like, and let me know what your favorite Mexican dish is in the comments below.